and welcome to Stampin' Chat Live. I'm Gina from Gina K Designs, and it's great to see all of you coming in from all around the world. I just had a lot of fun chatting with everybody over on YouTube for a few minutes, watching everybody's comments coming through, and that's always so much fun. So if you're watching us on Facebook or Twitch and you ever want to stop over on YouTube, we get started a little bit earlier over there, and we're all saying hi to each other and checking in. But it is great to see all of you from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're glad you're here. Tonight we're going to be doing some wreath building and a little stencil building, and I'm going to show you how to use our brand new Large Wreath Builder stencil, our template. But before we get started with all of that, let's say hello to Tom. Hey, Tom.
Greetings from the dead space.
How are you over there?
I'm better than horrible. Doing okay.
It was a hot one today in Wisconsin.
We have summer back. I am happy with that. You know that.
I know you are. Tom was like, I love this weather. I melted from the car to the front door of work. I do like warm weather. I'm not a cold weather person, but you like it this hot, right?
Yeah, it was nice. I'm okay with it. But I know it's not for long, so I'm enjoying it while it's here.
Yeah, that's true, because I'm going to complain about it being too hot, and then in 2 months I'll be saying, oh, it's so cold. I can't wait until it's hot.
That's how it goes.
That's how it goes, right? It's hot all over the country right now. That's what I'm hearing from all the weather reports coming in from all the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, will you have a word of the day later?
I think I might. Yes.
Okay, good, because you know they wait for that.
Well,
I wait for that. We all wait for you, Tom.
That's a little scary, but okay.
Okay, well, let's get started right away because I have a lot of things to show you. So the first thing I wanted to show you was that because I saw some questions, people asking, do we still have the original templates? What's the mini? What goes with what? So I thought I would show you all 3 different templates that are available on our website. So these are the 3 templates right here. We start off here, we have the mini wreath builder template, and that's a tiny one. So because we had all this extra room, we put a couple of snowflakes in there because those are always useful, right? And the mini wreath builder template is great for even making tags. You can do wreaths on tags because this gives you a very small little wreath. Now, the original Wreath Builder templates, there are 2 in this pack. There's a 3 3/4 inch one and a 4-inch one. And then these stars inside help you with positioning stamps. So you can see how close to the center your wreath will be by using the rings on this template here. And you can also see like where each stamp will stamp in regard to the section, because remember, you turn this 8 times, so you can see if something's going to overlap or not by using these stars to position your stamps. Then we have the brand new Large Wreath Builder template. Now, this is the new one that just came out 2 releases ago, not our last release, but the one before that. And this is the one that coordinates with our Stencil Builders. So we're going to talk about this one in a second. But first, I want to tell you just a little bit about these 2. We have a Master Layouts die set that was designed to work with both of these templates, and that is Master Layouts 3. So Master Layouts 3 has, did I lose one? No, I didn't. It's in here. It's got 2 stitched dies. One is 3 3/4 inch and one is 4 inches. And that will cut out the perfect size square to fit in either the 3 3/4 inch template or the 4-inch template. And that gives you that little decorative edge. So that's kind of a nice thing. Now it also has the ones that are 1/8 of an inch bigger, so you can outline those, have that nice little black or whatever color you want shadow layer. But we also put in this set these smaller squares that fit the mini Wreath Builder template. So this one, let's see here. I got to look at the size here. It's a weird size. So the small square, okay, the small square is 2.5 by 2.5, and then the, let's see, this one is Oh, I don't have the right. Oh, yeah. The small stitched one. Okay, so the small stitched one is 2.375 by 2.375, which is 2 3/8. And then this is 2.5. And so that's the bigger one. That's the one that's just 1/8 of an inch. So we made this die set because not everybody wants to cut a 2.375 inch square. I know it's not terribly difficult to cut a 2 3/8 of an inch square, but some people really like to have the little stitched edge, and also you know it's going to fit in there perfectly if you cut it with these dies. So this Master Layouts die set was coordinated and designed to go with these two different Wreath Builder templates. And then the other thing about this die set is it's got all of these circle dies which work together. You've got the larger stitched one with the outline and the smaller stitched one with the outline. And these work really nicely with the different greetings that are in all of our Wreath Builder stamp sets. The original, the autumn, the winter, just all of the different Wreath Builder. And then we have a mini Wreath Builder one too that works in here. And these will also cut out the sentiment in that. So there you go. You can see it even works with this Everything Brighter stamp set that was designed to go with this larger Wreath Builder template. So that's another thing that I really like about this. And also, if you wanted to do something with strip sentiments, it's got 4 different strip sentiment flags in here. So after you create your wreath and you put your center greeting in, you can also have another greeting that would go along the underneath or along the bottom, or it could go right in the center, or you could just decorate the center with a little flag. So it could have a little decorative edge. So that's what this was initially designed for. And I know a lot of you love all of our master layouts and you just get all of them because you want to have all the access. And although circles and squares are great for lots of other card designs and shaker cards and things like that, creating windows, these were designed for the Wreath Builder. So I wanted to show you that today so that you would have a good idea of what's available out there for these two templates. Now, we're not going to be working with these templates today. If you're interested, I have a whole Wreath Builder playlist on my YouTube channel. I will link that in the description of this video on YouTube, so you can easily click over to that if you want to watch any of those videos and see how these two templates work. But today we're going to focus on this one because this one looks weird, right? These are both complete stars, right? And this one looks kind of weird. So people purchased it and they're like, I don't know if I quite understand it. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So we're going to start by cutting a piece of cardstock for this. I don't have a master layout set for this one yet. Maybe that will come down the line. We'll see. But this is pretty easy to cut because it tells you right on the how-to guide, cut your cardstock to 5 1/4 inches square. Now you can also do other sizes in here, which are some more advanced techniques. And if you want to see some advanced techniques, I can certainly do other videos. But today I'm going to do the basics just to get everybody up and running. So I'm going to start with a 5 1/4 inch by 5 1/4 inch square. Now you can see that is considerably bigger than, let me just cut one of these for you to show you what size this would be. So if we were going to do like one of the smaller Wreath Builder stencils, not the mini, but one of the regular ones, the original ones, you can see the difference in the size there. This would be for the original Wreath Builder. So we're getting a much bigger card out of this one. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Misty. Now I've got a few tips and tricks here for the Misty. The first thing is I use the Misty mouse pad. If you don't have the Misty mouse pad, your Misty came with a black foam pad. But I like the Misty mouse pad because you can get, you know, ink all over it and just wipe it clean with a tidy towel. But for wreath building, it is better to use the black side of your foam pad. So if you have the mouse pad like I do, just flip it over and use the black side, or you can use the original foam pad that came into it. The reason why I like it is because it's easier to see the white cardstock and to see that it's positioned well than if you're using it on the mouse pad. You see, it kind of blends in a little too much for my liking. And so this is going to work better. The mini wreath builder template will be back in stock. We just put in a huge reorder for all of our stencils. And so lots of stencils and templates will be coming back in very soon. Okay, so I am going to start. I'm not going to open this one. I just grabbed this package. I have an opened one here. Well, it's a used one, and I don't want to use a new one. Okay. All right, so the one thing is that some people use their Misty in the opposite position that I do. I think, personally, I like to open the Misty like a book. I know that the numbers are upside down here. I don't care because I never use this ruler, so it really doesn't matter to me. But I feel more comfortable opening my Misty like it's a book. This is the way I would open something. It's supposed to be used this way. You see how the numbers are? But that becomes very confusing to me. So I'm going to use it this way. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your wreath builder template and you're going to put it up against the ruler side. You could put it at the top or the bottom, but the ruler side of your Misty, not the open side. So if you use your Misty like I do, it's going to look like that. If you use your Misty this way, it's going to look like that. Okay? It doesn't matter which way you use it, but it does matter which side you put this template in, and you want it to be where the two rulers meet. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to tape this down just because I really, really like to make sure that this doesn't move. And even though it's tucked in the corner, if this moves, my wreath is going to be off. Okay? So I like to tape it down in two spots just to make sure it stays put. If you're aggressive with it, you can also tape it over here and onto the side of the Misty like that. That's fine to do. I don't really need to do that, so I'm going to just pull that tape off. I think that will be fine for me. Okay. Now normally let me just grab one of the other wreath builder templates here. Normally, I will pull one of these out just to show you. So normally when you have your wreath builder templates inside your Misty, you're going to put your piece of cardstock right inside the template. And you know it's easy to see the square, right? It's easy to see the diamond. It's easy to turn it. But with this, it could look a little bit confusing. So I only want you to focus on this corner and this corner. Okay? So when you put this in, I would look at these two, and I would look at these two. These two and these two. Because when you put it in, see, when I put the other one in, I was looking at the top, right? I was looking at the top here, trying to get it into position. And then when I turned it, I was looking at the top again. But because this doesn't really have a full square, I want you to look at these two for position, kind of like that. And then these two for position. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. That makes it easy for you to see what I'm doing. So we're going to start in the square orientation, which is these two right here. And I'm going to put my magnet down. Now, the other thing that's different about this wreath builder template is normally I always tend to start on the right when I lay down my stamps. But For this one, you're just going to start on the other side because you can't really start out here because this is off the edge. So I'm going to be starting somewhere in this area. So I'm going to pick a stamp off of this stamp set. And this is the Everything Brighter stamp set. This is the stamp set that was designed to work with the Stencil Builder. So I figured we could make one card with this tonight, or just one wreath. We don't have to make full cards. We could just make one wreath. And then I will definitely be making a card with the Stencil Builder and adding the Wreath Builder in there. So you want to position your stamp so that it's somewhere within this square orientation. Don't ever start your wreath in diamond orientation, because if you start the stamp out here like this, right, it's on the cardstock, but when you pick it up and you turn it to the next orientation, now it's hanging off the edge. So it's always a good idea to start in square orientation because you know that that's the shorter side. So let's just start with that right there. And I'm going to pick that up with the door of my MISTI. Now I always like to make sure that my cardstock is in the right spot once I position a stamp. And the reason is because sometimes the stamp sticks to the paper and it shifts the cardstock. And then your first stamping is going to be off. And we want it to be right. So I'll just use some fresh asparagus here for these leaves. And I'm going to stamp that. Now, if this is your first time ever seeing the Wreath Builder, you know, this one is maybe a little bit different than what you saw in other videos or maybe what you thought. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it to these 2 points. All right. And then I'm going to stamp it again. So you can see this works very much like the regular Wreath Builder. It's just that we're doing it kind of to the other side of the MISTI. Now I'm going to go back to these 2 points. And you see how I keep shifting back and forth. Now, I know for those of you that are already pro Wreath Builders, you might be saying, yeah, I get all this, but there are people out there that this is new. So then again, I'm going to go to these 2 points or these 2 points. You know, you just want to get this point to the next spot. You just want to change to the next position. And this is just such a fun and inexpensive way to create a wreath. You don't need any special tool other than your MISTI that you already use for everything else. And you just pop this template in whenever you want. And some people just store their templates under their foam pad. So they always know where they are. And if they want to do a quick wreath, they just have to lift the pad, grab it, and they're ready to go. So, all right.
So question, let's see, Terry is asking, can you use foil paper? Which ink would you use?
Foil paper? I guess you could use foil paper. You would need some sort of permanent ink if you were using foil paper because foil paper isn't porous, so dye inks wouldn't work. We don't have an ink that would be compatible with foil paper. Okay, so now you see that this is working out. Like something like StazOn ink would stamp on foil and it would work. Like StazOn you could stamp on glass and on plastic because it's a permanent ink. It will also stain your stamps, just so that you're aware of that. And you can't really get it off. Okay, so now I've completed my first round there. And I'm going to switch my design to a different design. So let's see here. Maybe I'll do one of these little flowers. I'll do the rose. I like this little rose. This was all designed to work with the Stencil Builders, but there was extra space on the stamp set, and I thought, well, why not put a couple bigger flowers in there so that you could make a bigger type of floral design on this bigger card. So I'm popping that one up there, and then I'm going to pick that up, and you see how that just kind of shifts. So I want to get it back into position. And I think I will do just a hot pink. So I'm going to use some Passionate Pink for this one. And these stamps are pretty new, so I am going to just clean it a little bit to get the manufacturing residue off of there. That should help. All right, so now we're going to create a little rose pattern going around. Oops, see that? That magnet was very close to there. So I'm going to shift the position of the magnet. All right, so now I have my first flower. I'm going to turn it again. And I'm going to put the magnet down here so it's not in the way. It is just the magnet that prevented that stamp from stamping. And then turn it again.
Do you know if this will work on a Tim Holtz platform?
Yes, it will. So when you're using the Tim Holtz platform and it doesn't have a side to put it in, it only has like the top, you could just butt it up against the top and tape it down to the platform and it'll work just fine. So no problem with that. Oh no, this shifted. So let's see. This flower might be not in the right place, but we'll see. It might be pretty close. We'll see.
And can you do more than one stamp at a time?
Yeah, you absolutely can do more than one stamp at a time if you want to. And I'll show you Rena's little trick at the end. For those of you who've seen Rena's trick, bear with me. Bear with the folks who haven't seen it before because it is such a great idea. But you can actually stamp everything all at the same time if you want, once you've created your initial wreath. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean as soon as I go around here. I'm going to add one more design to this before I finish it up. But yeah, you definitely can.
And real quick, does it matter if you turn your paper clockwise or counterclockwise?
It doesn't matter.
And
just
will this...
whatever you do, do it the same way the whole way around.
Okay, and will this make an A2 card or a 5x7?
Well, this definitely could be a 5x7 card. You could trim it down a little bit on the sides and then mat it and then put it on a 5x7 card base and it will look great. You can also trim it down for an A6 card. You can, cut it out for an A6. If you want, you just have to cut it smaller than like our A6 master layouts, and then it would just have a wider border. But it would also be able to be an A2 card. I personally like it as a square card. I think square cards are really fun, especially if you're hand delivering them. You can do a lot on a 5.5 inch square card. You can make this a 6x6 square card if you have 12x12 scrapbooking paper to make your card base. So there's certainly a lot that you can do there. Let's see, what else do I want to use on here? What would be cute? We could put another flower on the inside here. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Or a tiny flower in there. Let's do a little flower. Just because I kind of want to get to my stencil building. So we'll just do a smaller flower in here. We'll kind of make it look like it's connecting a little bit from there. And here, this color, let me go with something. No, I'll do that. I'll do Sweet Mango. I'm going to do Sweet Mango. Here's my other Sweet Mango pad.
So someone's interested in the difference between the Wreath Builder and the Stencil Builder.
So the Stencil Builder, well, I'm going to show that to you in just a minute so you'll be able to see that. I think it's easier if I show it to you rather than try to tell you about it. Because the Stencil Builder is the exact opposite procedure as the Wreath Builder. With the Wreath Builder, you're turning the paper. With the Stencil Builder, you're turning the stencil. And With the Wreath Builder, you're using stamps, and with the Stencil Builder, you're stenciling. So those are the main differences, but they give you a completely different look. Wreath building really is great for wreaths and mandalas, kaleidoscope cards, you know, anything. Some of our other stamp sets that work beautifully with the Wreath Builder templates are the Mandala Maker and the Mandala Maker 2. And then you can also look through your collection, and most stamp sets have a couple of small elements in them. You know, there's always extra room in a stamp set after you get your big main images in there, and we always try to fill it up as much as we can to give you extra little stamps that you can create backgrounds and things like that out of. So in this case, you can use any of those little stamps from your different stamp sets to create wreaths. So you can see what's happening here. We're kind of creating that very beautiful wreath. And in my opinion, less is more. The most beautiful wreaths don't have 9 million different images on them. They just have 3 to 4 images on them, and they really give you a beautiful look. Now, I could add one more thing in here to jazz it up a little bit. For example, I can take that same flower again, and I can put it up here and add a different color, or I can add a tiny little leaf element in here that maybe would be a different green, which would be very pretty, and it would almost look like it's coming off of this little sprig here. Let's do that, and I'll just show you. So we'll pick a lighter green like jelly bean green, because I think they work really nicely together.
And the name of that stamp set again?
This is called Everything Brighter. So we're just adding another leaf in there. And you see how now we've got that extra leaf element, and it just creates a little more interest without it being too busy. But it fills it out a little bit. It makes your wreath a little more fluffy up in that area where I think it might have needed something. And of course, you know, you can, my pixie tape doesn't want to hold onto fabric-y material, which I would expect. I don't know if I did this one yet or not. So we'll see. We'll try. Oh, that's it. Okay. Maybe use a little bit of a tougher tape. Duct tape. Tom, there's always a use for duct tape, right? Duct tape sticks to everything. I'm telling you, if I was falling off a building,
It was in the Martian movie.
It was? If I was falling off of a building, I would either want duct tape or I would want Christmas lights, because they tangle onto everything and I would for sure be saved. So you can see how just adding that extra little leaf is so pretty.
You're going to post the colors that you used, the ink
Oh,
colors.
yeah, I will. I will. And I'll turn this one probably into a card as well. Okay, so there you can see. There's just a very simple little wreath. Nothing very complicated. But here is my daughter Rena's trick. Let's say you looked at this wreath and you said, I'm never going to remember exactly where I positioned those to make it look exactly that way. Because wreaths, when you use the Wreath Builder, each one's going to be different, right? Because you're putting a brand new piece of paper down and you've got to just nail, you're just going, you know, freehand. So if you find one that you really love, all you have to do is put this back into the template. All right. Now this one we already know is in the right spot. Is that in the right spot? Let's pretend that we took it off. All right. So we're going to lay this right over that image. Then we're going to lay this one over this image. And you'll be able to see how to line it up perfectly. Okay, got that there. Now we're going to put the rose right here. Line that up over that image. And then that little one right here. Now, if you want to do these all in separate colors, you can spread them out. You could put that one down here, right? So that they're spread out enough that you could get your ink cube in there and ink that one. You could ink this one. You know, you could do them one at a time. But let's say you were thinking, you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to do this all with like Versamark or embossing and watermark ink, and then do it all with embossing powder. So you kind of need to go a little bit fast, right? So you'd want to do that all in one action. So once oh boy, let's get that back where that was, and then we'll put this one back. They are sticky on the sides. Okay, so we have these all in place. So now I'm going to pick these all up, and then on another piece of cardstock, I would just take this and I would pick a color. I'm just going to pick Tangerine Twist because it's right here. And I would just ink those up and stamp it. Okay? So now that's my template. If I know that if I line all of those images up on here, I'm going to get this. Okay, does that make sense? So what some people like to do is they save this one, they make a file and they save their favorite wreath, they put the template on the back, they know what it's going to look like, maybe they love this color combination so they can remember. But let me just show you, I'll just go around and you can see how this is going to complete a perfect wreath now. It looks really weird right now. But let's say you were doing embossing powder. So you're doing Versamark here. You want to go around very quickly. You want this Versamark to stay nice and wet so that you can do all gold embossing or all silver embossing. You see how this is just lining right up. It's very quick. You don't have to do one at a time. If you wanted to take your time and ink each stamp up its own color, you certainly could do that. But I just want to show you how this does actually work. It's important to see it, you know? It's hard to believe until you see it. Because it looks so weird, just those 4 images just hanging out there. But you've positioned them in the right spot, and so now you've got your template, and you will never, ever forget how you made this beautiful wreath. See how fast this is coming together? Only takes 8 turns and you've got the entire thing done, as opposed to 8 turns for each individual stamp. There we go. And it's done. So that is how you do that. All right, so now that we've had a little experience here with the wreath builder, the large wreath builder, let me put these stamps back. And we're going to do something with the stencil builder. So I'm going to put this aside because hopefully I'll be able to make a card out of that. And we'll see. We'll see. You know, it depends how much time we have, but I'm not sending this Misty too far, and I'm not taking the template out because we're going to need it. Now, if you have a stencil mat, and this is Simon Says Stamp stencil mat, but I also have a Brutus Monroe one somewhere, and other people have different types of mats and those kind of photopolymer, they call them tacky mats or whatever, but they're just like a blob of photopolymer that you stick, like a square of photopolymer that you stick things on. You can use something like this too for this technique. So I'm going to use this stencil builder. Now this one is the pointed oval stencil builder. Now you only need one. Oh, I think we just blew a bulb, Tom. It's like burning out. So if it looks like people are taking my pictures, sorry about that. So I'm just going to put this template down here onto my stencil mat. Actually, I'm going to move it over here just a little bit. This is just a sticky mat. Now I'm going to cut, yeah, look like lightning going on over here. So again, I'm going to cut a panel that's 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. So sorry if you see those flashes, that's what that is. 5 1/4 by 5 1/4. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to lay this piece of cardstock into the square area. Tom's trying to fix this because it's like blinking on and off. Into the square area there, and it is tacked down onto the stencil mat. Now I'm going to use the larger pointed oval here, and I'm going to put that into place. Now, one thing that really helps, see, I'm just putting it right on top. And one thing that really helps me is just having a piece of pixie tape or something close by to actually pick up this template. Because that's where you're going to pick it up from the point. You're always going to be picking it up. And it does make it a little easier to pick it up that way. But I'm using a stencil mat. Normally I don't. Normally I just use a piece of cardstock and I just put it in there. I just tape it down, but I'm using this today because I know a lot of people have it. I thought I'd give it a try. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use 2 colors here. I'm going to use Sweet Mango and I'm going to use, ooh, where is it? Where's my Wild Dandelion? Did I not bring that over? I must have it here. Here it is. Here's my Wild Dandelion. That's from the other night still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Sweet Mango, and I'm going to, no, it's not bad, Mike, you go ahead. I'm going to start over here like this, halfway up. And then I'm going to get a little bit of Wild Dandelion. I'm going to come down from the other side and I'm going to blend these 2 colors together. And then again, I'm going to add a little more Sweet Mango and come up this way just to get a little higher up. We're going to make this a very sunny looking card. So I'm just going to pick that up and then I'm going to pull that off. Now I'm going to turn this to the next position in my stencil builder. So I'm slipping that point in there and that point up there. Everything else will fall into place. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to start with the Sweet Mango. And then I'm going to add a little Wild Dandelion. Blend those 2 colors together so that they look fairly seamless. And then I'm going to go back again with the Sweet Mango and fill that in a little bit and bring it up a little higher. Okay, so I'm going to pull that off. Now you see I'm creating a very sunny card here. And then I am going to create a greeting for this that's going to work perfectly. I have the Hello Sunshine Trio that I wanted to use tonight because I know a lot of people were asking about that one. And that was designed to work with this because I really felt like this whole stencil builder situation really feels like rays of sunshine. So I thought having a greeting like that would be a really good one. And you can see where in the wreath builder you move the stamp, you move the paper, right? You change out the stamps and you move the paper. For the stencil builder, you don't move the paper. The paper has been right in this same spot. You're just turning this template, and the template is inside the star. So hopefully, you know, you're getting a good idea of how these two tools, although they do similar things, they work in opposite order. They work in an opposite way from each other. All right. And of course, you can do rainbow effects. You can alternate colors here if you want. But I think that every once in a while doing a more, I wouldn't say this is completely monochromatic because we are using more than one color, but it is definitely a, it's one color going all the way around. Okay, and you see, once again, I am slipping that into these spots here.
How many varieties of the Stencil Builder are there?
So right now we have 4 Stencil Builders. 3 of them are real, true Stencil Builders. The Teardrop, the Pointed Oval. The Pointed Oval is the one that I'm using now. And then we have the Raise, which is one that kind of, you use it all at the same time. It doesn't spin around. It's just you put it down and then you ink it up. And then we have the Dotted Swirl, which is a really cool one. Really beautiful. Okay. So you can see the, I'm getting that nice little bit of hint of ink blending there, which I think is so fun on this and so easy to do. So a lot of people have really become layered stencil fans over the years, no doubt. And so for 2 of these Stencil Builder sets, we have 2 layers. So you can overlap them together and create more interest, but you don't have to. You don't have to use both layers. You can use them as a single layer for sure. All right. Did I see Jennifer's here? Hi, Jennifer. How are you? I hear you're going live with Hero Arts and Heidi Crowell from Simon Says Stamp. It's going to be live with Hero Arts and Jennifer tomorrow. That's exciting. That's very exciting. That's going to be a great show. Okay, so you see what's happening here? Just going right around. Very easy to line up. I'm using just this point over here and whichever point isn't inky, you know? There we go. All right. So we've got the orange. That's Sweet Mango. And yes, I always put the colors that I use in my description on YouTube. The reason why it's not there now, I know that, you know, sometimes people have everything that they're going to use listed. I don't even know what I'm going to make, let alone what I'm going to use. So I don't really put anything in until afterwards. Okay, I got a little goober there. Oh, there, brushed away. Okay, and this is the final one. So you can see this looks like a big flower. The teardrop also looks like a flower, but it's a more like chunky, squatty kind of flower. And there's lots of great Wreath Builder and Stencil Builder videos out there. Jennifer has a great Stencil Builder video. Jennifer and I did a tag team video on this. And also Nikki from Nikki Hearts has a video. I don't know if Mindy did a video on this yet or not. I don't think she did, but I'm not sure. Mindy's going through it today. She dropped her daughter off at college, but luckily her daughter is, I mean, I can get to her daughter in an hour because her daughter's going to Madison. So, okay, so isn't that pretty? And you see where they overlap together? They make a whole other color, which is really cool. Now, this is the smaller stencil, and you can see, you know, if you put this one on top, and you could certainly do that, you can get a whole other cool layer on here. I'm trying to figure out what color to use here. Maybe even a pink might be cool.
We had a question on from Shannon. How do you choose your colors?
Well, I think that I have a video with kind of like a Gina K color wheel, and it's kind of a good one to show you what colors I think go together really well. But you want to use colors. I'm sorry, I'm stepping away here because I'm trying to find another ink pad that I want to use. Oh, you know what? I think that was Tangerine Twist. I don't think oh no, it wasn't. Here's Tangerine Twist. That's what I was looking for. I think I might add a little Tangerine Twist on this next layer. I use colors that are next to each other or very close to each other on the color wheel that I know that if I blend them together, they're not going to make brown unless I want to make brown. So that's how I do it. So now I'm using the smaller one in here. And you can see because I've got like different colors going. Look at all the different colors you get out of that. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. These are fun. And you can make, and I think we've talked about this before in the past about wreath building. I find wreath building extremely satisfying when I have no mojo. Because you can make wreath builder patterns or you can make stencil builder patterns, and you don't have to use them right away. You can just make different color combinations and different patterns. You can mix the pointed oval with the teardrop. You can mix it with the dotted swirl, and then later on, when you have your mojo and you're ready to make a card, you can figure out what exactly you want to make. Then you just grab the panel and go. You don't have to make anything in particular.
Lori would like to know, what is the best way to get started in card making?
Oh, well, Lori, I think the biggest thing is, first of all, I think you don't need everything. Which probably sounds weird coming from somebody who owns a stamp company, but it's really true. I think people get themselves into trouble because they try to buy everything because they think they're going to need everything to get started, and you really don't. Pick something that you like. For example, let's say this is something you like. We'll just go with this. And you're just getting started and you don't have many supplies. Pick one template. And pick a couple ink colors and just get started. Just make a bunch of panels. See how it feels. I kind of like the idea also of the SIP theory. All you need are stamps, ink, and paper to get started. You don't need every die that's on the market. You don't need every machine and every tool that's on the market. I think what you should do first is try stamping in color. And when I say stamping in color, I mean get yourself some chunky stamps where, you're going to stamp the flowers in different colors. And
what do you mean by
leaves,
chunky?
Chunky, I mean that aren't open, that you can't color in. For example, like the stamps, these would be chunky stamps. These are stamps that you stamp in color. Get a set of stamps that you would stamp in color like this and play with them. Then get yourself what's called a line art image stamp. That's where it's thin lines that are open so that you can color them in with pencils or markers or watercolor, and try that. And decide what you like. What is your jam? Some people will love coloring and other people don't like it at all. Some people only like doing stenciling. Some people like to stencil color and don't like to actually color with markers. So I'm just bending this and peeling this off. There we go. Okay. So the reason why I didn't do anything in the center is because I'm going to put my greeting in the center. Vicky! Vicky, yes, a little sip of fruit salad and a little bit of stamps, ink, and paper. So for those of you that are new, fruit salad to me is actually sangria. People have renamed it wine, but to me it's sangria. because it's got chunks of fruit in it, and I like to just kind of think that I'm drinking like a smoothie. It's very healthy, right? Okay, so we've got two different looks here. Now, what I'm going to do here, I know it's getting a little late and we might go a little over tonight, but that's okay because I really want this to be something everybody understands. So now I'm going to add a little bit of stamping onto this. All right, and you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to add some black in here. And I love, 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 love these. And this, I think these are so fun. So I think I'm going to pick one of these. Let me see what this one looks like. So I'm going to put this right here. Okay. I think that's going to do it. All right. So I'm going to put this right here, and I'm going to stamp this. You could stamp it in any color that you want, but I think you guys know what color I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick black, because I'm going to have part of my greeting in black, and I'm going to have my little black shadow layer. So I definitely want to use some black. So I'm going to ink this up. Now I've already done my stencil building, so now I'm going to add my stamping. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? It's so interesting. It just adds such a cool little touch to each of these petals. So people are like, no, not black. And now people are like, yes, black. It's beautiful. It looks great. Come on, you know it looks good. It might not be what you would do. You might use maybe a tomato soup or something like that. But doesn't it look cool? You got to admit it looks cool.
Black scents.
Right. I always have to have my black scents on there. My little black accents. Okay. All right. So that's just one of the tons of different looks that you can get. I'm going to stamp that one more time. Maybe I shouldn't. Okay. That's okay. That's good. That worked. Thank goodness. It would have been devastating if it didn't. I love the way this just goes off the edge, too. I wanted it to do that. It almost feels like it's not, and it's not the same thing, but it almost feels like the stamen of the flower. You know how they just kind of come out? Okay, Tom, so while I finish this going around, everybody's asking for the word of the day. They even abbreviate it now, and I know what that means.
Okay, so today's word of the day. Word o' the day.
Word o' the day.
Word o' the day. It's been a while since you had a stamping event out there in the world.
Yeah. I had a stamping event several years ago when we were in Greendale.
Yes.
That was the last one.
Someday maybe we'll go do a big one.
Maybe we will.
Yeah. And we could call it it could be the stamping event to top all stamping events.
Oh no. Is this your word of the day?
We call it Scrapocalypse. Oh no, Scrapocalypse. You could have it at hold it in a stampatheater.
Oh no, a stampatheater. Did you just say stampatheater?
A stampatheater.
Oh my gosh.
And we could travel to East Stampton in New York and have it there. And yes, be quite the stampede.
Oh my gosh.
So, hurrying back into the dead space.
Yes.
Word of the day.
That's a good one, though. I like that. See, somebody said, don't you mean stampocalypse? That's what I said earlier. But scrapocalypse actually has the word, right, Tom?
Yeah, you make choices, you know.
Okay. So I just picked this greeting, you make everything brighter. I don't like the way I stamped it, so I'm going to stamp it one more time here. All right. No, I'm going to stamp it on. I'm going to move it down a little bit.
Is that Stamper's Remorse?
Stamper's Remorse, yeah. It was just a little blotchy in one spot. Probably not that bad, but it looks the same to me. I don't even know. Okay, so I'm going to stop with that there, and I'm going to use this for my Stencil Builder card. And then I'm going to die cut my greeting for my Wreath Builder card because I want something a little bit bigger in the Wreath Builder. Okay, so I will do all of that cutting all at once here with my Intricut. So let me pull out Master Layouts 3. Did I put it back? I did. Of course I did. And I want to see, you know, I want to see if this one is smaller. Let's see, I gotta look at the sizes here because I have, no, I think this circle might be a good size. I'm gonna use Master Layouts 3. Because I think this circle might be the ticket. Yeah, that's a good size right there. I'm gonna cut that out. Boy, I'm getting hot. But, you know, I have my own personal weather patterns going. So. My sciatica is pretty much gone. It's all better. I iced it, and I don't think it was really sciatica. I think I just overused it on my 32-mile bike ride. So I don't think it was sciatica. But he called it something like sciatica. There's like something that doesn't go all the way down to your ankle, and that's like one name, and then sciatica is like the one that goes all the way down your leg. So it was the one before that. Somebody might know what that is. Now I'm going to use the smaller plain circle here to create my shadow layer.
We'll have an episode on medical words of the day.
We really need to.
We're learning more and more.
Right. Yeah. Medical words of the day. Oh my goodness, you know. Okay, and those two, I think that's going to be the perfect little thing right in the center there. Isn't that fun? So we're going to put that together. Now I am going to cut out this die set. This is the Hello Sunshine trio. And I am going to cut this out. I had one. I don't know where it went. I think I took it to Create because Jennifer and I taught a class at Create together. And I think I took it to Create. So I'm going to cut the sunshine out here. Let's get that going through. I have it a little too tight there. Let's see if this will cut well. Sometimes I like to cut these more intricate dies upside down, but we'll see. Oh, that's good. That cut out really nicely. Okay. Let me pull that out. These cards will come together really fast. We won't go over too much, Tom.
Okay, so Susan is asking, did you see my question, Tom? I didn't. I'm confused about the Wreath Builder. Is there more than one size? Because I remember the original one and then a new one. Are they different sizes? So
Susan, you must have tuned in a little bit late. So as soon as this video is over, just go back and rewatch the beginning. I showed all 3 Wreath Builders that are available, and I showed a lot of information about those. So I think that will help you understand exactly what.
There was an original one that you updated, wasn't there?
There was a large Wreath Builder that you could like piecemeal together, and that has the same size as this one in it. So if you have that original large one, yes, you can still use that for these same techniques. I thought she was asking about the original Wreath Builder, like the small one. Okay.
I think she was.
Yeah, I think so too. Okay, so I've got the hello here. You know, and if you were just putting this right on your card, save this template because you can lay it down and make sure that they're evenly spaced just by piecing them in to that. Okay. And then I'm going to cut, I think, a white background here, although I don't know. I think that'll be good. We'll just cut one little white background piece here, and then we'll put that all together. Okay. And I'm using my magnetic mat here. Woo! Everything just jumped off. If you have the magnetic mat, you will notice that it does curve up a little bit on the sides when you use it because you can't really flip this over. Well, you could. It says this isn't a cutting surface, but it's kind of a cutting surface. You could use it, but it's not where you're meant to cut. You're meant to cut on this side because these two pieces are magnetized and they stick together. You could cut on the other side if you wanted, but you wouldn't get the magnetic result. And then you might as well use the plates that came with it.
And you do not need the Wreath Builder to use the Stencil Builders,
You
right?
do not need the Wreath Builder to use the Stencil Builder. The Wreath Builder is great with the Stencil Builder because you can add these fun little details, but you don't need it. You absolutely do not need it. All right, so I'm going to just use this to piece these together. It does make it a little easier to kind of have this. I just have to decide, do I want the sunshine on top of the hello? Or do I want the hello on top of the sunshine? I think I want the sunshine to be on top of the hello, so I will put the hello down first. So I'm going to quickly put this together because I do want to pop this up. So it is good that I'm putting it on the white background, even though it's white on white. I'm trying to look at comments at the same time as I'm working, and that doesn't work. But I will link all of my Wreath Builder videos, the whole playlist here, so that you are able to go and get more wreath building ideas, because just because a Wreath Builder video is on the small template, you can use the same exact template, or you can use the same exact design, but use bigger stamps in the bigger template. So I am just putting these down. It is pretty easy to see where these go. And I'm just using my Connect glue in the fine tip bottle. Once you get it in the right spot. Okay. So the pink, I picked Passionate Pink cardstock because I have Passionate Pink roses in my card. Now, if you don't have Passionate Pink cardstock, you can just ink blend the color that you want onto white cardstock and then cut it out of that. So, you know, if you don't have the right color, never fear, you can still make it work and it will still be beautiful. All right, so let's go ahead and get this sunshine on top. I'm just using a little extra glue on the top of that S because I know that's going to overlap. And so will this H. I like that the dot is actually part of this one. That doesn't always work out, but it did for this one. Okay, so I'm going to start at this S here. I'm going to get that in place. And I'm just going to kind of work my way over, pushing it into place. There we go. Okay. So I like that little bit of overlap there, and I think that will be fun right in the center of that card. And I'm going to pop it up to give it some dimension. All right, so we're going to cut 2 fast black panels. Let me find some black cardstock here. We're going to cut 2 fast black panels. We started at 5 1/4 inches, so we're going to go 5 3/8 by 5 3/8. And that is going to... Did I cut that wrong? I did. I did! Let's try it again. So 5 1/4. We want to go 5 3/8. What did I do wrong?
I think you did 5 1/8.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, you know that piece of black cardstock will never go to waste.
Glad I could help.
Thank you. Were you watching me do it?
At just the right timing.
You were watching and going, that's not going to work. All right, and we'll just layer that together super thin. Of course, we could cut this down. You know, we could have cut it down to an A2 and just used a master layout in there, and that would have been totally fine. But I'm just making 2 big square cards tonight just because it's fun every once in a while. And we do have square envelopes that fit these cards, but you do have to remember that there is extra postage required for square cards. So these square ones might be great cards to hand deliver. You could make, you know, Christmas cards this way and hand deliver them with a gift card inside, that kind of thing. But it does cost a little extra. So I'm making 2 cards at once here. Why not? Oh, I'm getting rid of my template. Should have made another one, but it's all right. It's always interesting to see how they come out anyway, because the next one, you know, I might think, oh, this is the best. I don't want it to ever be different. And then the next one might even be better. So you never know. All right, let's just put these on white card bases. So I'm going to cut 2 card bases. Let's get that layered together. And then we'll just pop the greeting on. And we won't be that far over. So I'm going to cut, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get my big paper cutter because we're going, this is going to be a 5 1/2 inch by 5 1/2 inch square card. So 5 1/2 plus 5 1/2 is 11, right? So I need to cut this down to 5 1/2, and then I need to score it at 5 1/2. I saw a comment, do I ever get afraid of making mistakes on my cards on my show? You know, yes and no. I think it's really important that you guys see me make mistakes because too often videos look so perfect and everything is just so smooth on them. And, you know, I mean, that's the way all my old videos were. Never made a mistake. Every little breath, everything was just taken out. And it's kind of nice to be able to see that, you know, your YouTube content creators are actually real people who make real mistakes, and what we do to, like, recover, you know, where it doesn't necessarily mean you have to throw the card away.
That was Amanda who asked that. She said, I still have products that I had bought since I bought last year and I still haven't used because of that fear. Stamp through the fear, Amanda.
Yes, stamp through it. You have to think about what you're really afraid of. I mean, it's just paper. Like, if you make a mistake, it's paper. You can throw it away and you can start over. So try not to be afraid. You'll be surprised how some of the most amazing things happen because you made a mistake. All right, so I'm going to pop this into the center. You make everything brighter. There we go. That's a fun card. And then I could do some embellishing. I might do some embellishing a little bit later. But, you know, the goal here is just to get these cards done. So we need another 5.5 by 5.5. I can't use this paper cutter. It's too small for this. I need the big one. So 5.5. Now, if you don't have a big card, a big paper cutter, then just fold your cardstock first by 5.5 and then cut it down to 5.5. Like fold it and then you'll be able to cut it down to the other 5.5. So we really didn't have to get the big horse out, but it's fun. It's fun to give it a workout now and then. My scoring leaves something to be desired tonight. See, I'm making mistakes. Amanda, look, I'm making mistakes and I'm recovering. I'm just pushing through here. Okay. So we'll pop this one on here. And these are very simple, scaled down versions of wreaths and stencil building. I didn't do a whole lot on here, but it's just enough, you know? Sometimes I like the way the outside looks at the top. Certain sides look better than others to me. So I've got very thin layers there. And then, like I said, we have square envelopes that fit this whole size card. So, and you can find those on our website. So I'm just going to use a couple little foam squares for this to pop it up and get a little bit of dimension. Let's see. Now I don't want that to flap inward, so I'm just gonna do like, here's one, that's like a little half one. I'll put that there, and I'll cut one more right there and use that just so that it doesn't like sink, you know. Well, you guys are so much fun, and I appreciate all the questions. And I hope that this at least took a little fear away from trying the Stencil Builder and trying this large wreath builder. We'll just put that in the center there. And then real quick, because you know I just can't let it go, let's add a couple little gems, pearls maybe?
Let's blinger.
Let's blinger a bit, yeah. I gotta pull a bunch of these out because I gotta find the right sizes.
Any news on the next release?
Well, sort of. The goal is September 10th, but we do have to make sure that we have all the products in, and we are still waiting for some products. So, we're planning on September 10th. That is the goal. I'm hoping it all works out. Should I do pink? Is that a good pink? I don't think it is. Maybe orangey? Oh yeah, let's do some orangey ones. Do one down here. Do I have tiny orange in here? See, that's why I scrape a lot of them out, because the little ones fall to the bottom. And yeah, we'd have a little orange one there. It's kind of orange. Oh no, I dropped it back in. Here it is.
Do you know where the Hello Sunshine die comes from?
Yes, it is our Hello Sunshine Trio die set. Right there, Hello Sunshine Trio. So you can find that easily on our website. We also have a thank you trio. We have a birthday trio. Let's do a couple of these here. Kind of like that look. It just fills that in a little bit. And then, of course, you could go around and add a whole different thing completely around the outside, which, hey, why not? We'll just do one there, there. There, you can hear the glue sucking back up into the bottle. Okay, so let's do just some very simple sequins for this one. Some little disco ball sequins, because I've got tons of those around here. I'll just add those. Because I like to blinger, right, Tom?
You've been known to blinger.
I've been known to blinger.
Into the wee hours.
Into the wee hours, for sure. It doesn't feel done unless you've got like a little bit of sparkle on the card. But I'm going fast. I know most people are like, you don't have to go too fast, but I know some people have to go to bed. So there we go. We've got those little sequins. I'll take some real high quality photos of this so you can see all of the embellishments and everything too. For that one, and for this one, I feel like for this one, we're gonna go with gold. Gotta do some gold. So let me just get rid of all of these. Get those out of the way, and we'll get the gold metallic. Just dump them all out. Everybody laughs that I dump them out. But we could put these anywhere. Like we could put them in the middle. Let's put them right in here just to add a little something. Going around the outside. Black would be cool too because we have the black dots. So black would be cool. Let's do that and see how that looks. So I'll just go with the small gold. I gotta have enough small gold. I didn't consider that. Do I have enough? But I might. I probably do. I just have to knock a few more out because the gold ones always fall to the bottom. The little ones always fall to the bottom. So that's why I do what I do. Because people think it's funny. I got them all over the place and then I'm still working from the bowl, but I don't want the silver one. I think the gold is pretty with the kind of that sunny feeling of this one. And it's nice too if you let your glue set for a minute anyway. Sometimes they're hard to turn over. If you let your glue set for a couple seconds, the gems release from your tool a little bit easier too. So
is the September release the Christmas stuff?
Should be, yep. Can't give everything away. But yeah, it is. It's possible. Christmas. It's possible. It's possible. I'm just using all tinies. Kind of like the way that looks. Okay. So now we've got just a little bit of bling there. Yeah, black might have looked better, but you know, it's okay.
I like that.
You like the gold? Okay. I'm laughing at the comment, but it's your card. I know. Okay, so there we go. We've got two cards, one with the Large Wreath Builder, one with the Stencil Builder, and we mixed some Wreath Builder designs in there. Here, I'll show you the way I clean up really fast. All I do is just zoom in away from the mess. There, look at that, all cleaned up all around the outside. So what do you think, guys? You like this? I think we should give away a gift card tonight, Tom.
Okay, let's do it. Drum roll, please.
All right, $15 gift card coming out.
And the winner is Gina Sundquist. Gina
Yay, Jean!
Sundquist.
Hoorah! All right, Jean, all you have to do is send your name and email address to info@ginakdesigns.com and we will send that out to you. Digital gift card, $15 coming your way. It never expires. You can use it whenever you want. Now, like our one commenter said, They're your cards. Make them any way you want. If you want to do something completely different than this, I can't wait to see what you do. I would love it if you would share your ideas using the Wreath Builder and the Stencil Builder in our Facebook group. It is Gina K Designs and Stamp TV friends. We would love to have you over there as a member. We have a lot of fun over there, and there's always so many great inspirational ideas from our members. And then if you see something you like, you can head over to our website at ginakdesigns.com. And if something's out of stock, put your name on the notify me list because they're going to be in really soon. But a lot of this stuff is still in stock, so you can get it if you're interested. All right, everybody, if you liked tonight's video, and we sure hope you did, we would love it if you'd give it a thumbs up. And also, if you would hit the subscribe button. There's a little subscribe button, and then there's a little bell that you can hit so that you never miss another video. That's the notification bell. All right, everybody. Well, we hope you enjoyed tonight's video. We hope you learned some tips and tricks. We love spending time with you, and we're so grateful that you all joined us tonight. Tom and I will be back on Thursday with another Crafternoon Live. That's at noon Central Time, and we sure hope you'll join us then. In the meantime, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.